Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. We are just moments away from kickoff, and we've got a good one on tap between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Detroit Lions.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Detroit Lions. The punter and kickoff man, Sam Martin, to get us started. And we are underway from Ford Field. Ooh, with a juke. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. They'll be led out by the former Texas Christian University Horned Frog, Andy Dalton.
And there's no substitute for experience in this league, and what it usually leads to, a whole lot of confidence. Andy Dalton is sharp with where to go with the football now. I think he sees reads before they actually even happen. He can sense them now, and he is one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL.
Hands up, lead.
Right here. Watch the
Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. Here now the offense for the Bengals.
Out of the backfield is Joe Mixon, and he was a valuable commodity coming out of the University of Oklahoma because of his ability to be so versatile. Can run it inside with power, gets to the perimeter and can outrun people. Catches the ball not only out of the backfield, but you can split him out just like he would be a receiver. And I think if he wanted to dedicate himself, he'd be an all-pro kick returner.
From the 24, Dalton. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. The ex-Iowa Hawkeye, Mike Daniels, in for the sack. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
Third down, a shot here for Dalton. Got a man, it's Ross, complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. A third down gain of 19.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double-team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. And the starting crew defensively for Detroit.
Mike Daniels continues to get better and better with each year. A nice run stopper inside.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Dalton gives to Bernard. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Stop your whining.
Passing, it's Dalton. Open man is Ross, complete. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11.
Let's go.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in this paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. Throw from Dalton, taken in by Eifert. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. They'll run it here with Bernard. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
When you think of Mike Daniels, you think of strength. Hard to knock off the football, but surprising quickness and ability to move and evade people. How about that play there?
Well, he can squat 600 pounds, so that's how he caught people's attention coming into the league, and he caught our attention right there. 8th play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. To Dalton now. And that is incomplete.
As my dad used to tell me all the time, when you're getting ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, you better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on 3rd downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. And did he have enough? He did. He kept it online and managed to tuck it into the bottom right corner. And that right there is something we've seen, I don't know, 15 times in NFL history. That will officially go down as a 60-yard field goal.
And everything has to be absolutely perfect for this to have any chance. He's got to get it out low and really drive through it. And I tell you, that was one heck of a kick. One heck of a decision on the sideline to even try it as well.
After the field goal now, it's Bullock to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford is a big-arm guy who's learned how to temper some of his throws. Actually has added a lot more touch and accuracy as his career has gone along. Big-time confidence in his arm, though. Any throw you want, he can make it.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. A first carry now. This is Johnson. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Next, the receivers helped spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
From the 25 on 2nd down, Stafford. James has got it. Complete. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Set, lady. Hey, 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 hey.
3rd and 2, Stafford looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Preston Brown, the linebacker. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
Dalton with a give here to Mixon. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Dalton. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Well, good field position to start the drive, but under the gun now here on 3rd and 8. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. This one complete to Giovanni Bernard. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22.
Now, that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the 1st down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
Bullock's kick is good. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the 1st. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
After the field goal now, it's Bullock to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Back out is Matthew Stafford in the Lions offense. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 16. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Open man is Galladay, complete. 11 yards there and a Lion 1st down.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
The 1st down carry here for Johnson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 11 now. Stafford. And he finds Danny Amendola. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 1st down for the Lions on a nice pickup of 18 yards.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
On first down, it's Stafford. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. The Alabama man, Dre Kirkpatrick, there on the coverage. The defensive starters now for Cincinnati.
When you play against Carlos Dunlop, you have to think protecting your passer. He knows how to get upfield and rush the quarterback.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Watch the run, watch the run.
Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Now it's Stafford. And that will be incomplete.
That's it, baby. That's it.
That makes him now 0 for 2 here in the first quarter on 3rd down conversions.
And now they'll look to their defense because they need them to step up so they don't fall further behind here in the early going.
On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. Alex Erickson deep for Cincinnati. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense.
Yep,
Run what you do
put your foot on
best.
the gas.
Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Dalton bootlegs out. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trey Flowers, the former Arkansas Razorback, in there to get him.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Here's Bernard. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves him with 14 yards still to go on 3rd down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
So on 4th down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. Jamal Agnew is deep to return it. That one in the books as a 64-yard punt. And the Lions will take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
Stafford and the Lions now have it. First and 10 at their own 23. Out of the gun, Stafford. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Well, it doesn't take any great analysis. No jokes, partner, okay? All right, on this one. But we just know that we're going to see this as the game moves forward. There's going to be two guys on him on just about every snap.
It's kind of a dare to throw his way, but they have to keep throwing his way.
The benefits could be great. You throw it to a great receiver, he could come down with it anyway.
To throw again on second down, Stafford. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six for a Bengals TD. Short throw pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
On for the point after is Randy Bullock. And this is up. It's through. It extends their first quarter lead to 13-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This is fielded at the goal line.
Let's go, fellas.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. Stafford and the Lions now have it first and 10 at their own 18. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2 there, second down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12. Here's Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. Here's Stafford. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Here's Sam Martin now, standing just outside his own goal line. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Erickson now to return. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
I'm scared.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Dalton. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down. Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll take us to the end of the first quarter. $13-0 is the score after 1 on EA Sports. Here's Kevin Huber now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Back to throw, Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Getting the sack, the big D tackle, Geno Atkins.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now Stafford. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is going to be 3rd and 13. From the gun, here's Stafford. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively. Brings up 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. A big boot that time, 57 yards the official distance. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Lions defense gearing up as they take the field. And despite being down on the scoreboard, this unit, they've had some big-time hits.
Sort of like us at practice the other day. I saw you take a running start at that blocking sled. You took it down.
Bounced off like a rubber band.
No, not at all, but you're exactly right. They are doing their job, but they want to add takeaways to it. You need to have more of those to go along with the big hits we're seeing.
By the way, when I tried that and I bounced back, I noticed that you laughed with everyone else. You didn't try to get in my corner.
No. Someone had just told me a joke on the other side.
Right,
I missed that.
Right.
Totally missed it.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
Come on, QB, come on.
To throw again. Dalton. This one grabbed by A.J. Green. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 10 yards there on a Bengal first. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. If this defense wants to stay in this ballgame, they've got to start ending some drives. That helps.
And they have to look ahead at what they expect the offense to do. And right now with that lead, that's run the football. So you don't just stack the line of scrimmage. You have to get upfield and try and make some plays in their backfield.
On the draw, here's Bernard. And he's going to be taken down at the 39, clearly short of the first by a few yards. A good pickup there, 7 yards, but it brings up 4th down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at the 20. The shotgun snap for Stafford. Caught by Jones. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks, because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
The Lions on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. To throw is Stafford. That's to his running back, Kerryon Johnson. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Here's Sam Martin now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. They decide against going for it on 4th and 1, maybe to the dismay of their offense, but, hey, a nice consolation prize down inside the 5.
Nice consolation prize indeed. So maybe the offense is upset, but they showed confidence in their defense by punting it away.
They begin with a run by Mixon, and he's upended at the 6 as they double their room to maneuver on a pickup of 3.
And that's frustrating for a defense because they've got them pinned down deep, and on the first play, they gave up a run that keeps an offense on schedule.
Yeah, because 3 to 4 yards, that's all you're looking for right there, right?
That's absolutely perfect, really, as a play call. You get 3 to 4 yards on first down. That's what they talk about to us all the time, about being ahead of the chains or on target, ahead of schedule. They were after that run.
And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
And the Bengals on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now Dalton got a man open. It's Ross. And he will have the first down here as he's up to the 15. 3 yards on first, 4 on second, and now 5 on 3rd down. Move the sticks.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Up, ladies. 51. Come on, switch.
They'll run on first down. Bernard. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Dalton, and the catch good. It's Eifert. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there, you know, kind of like put it up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
He completes it to Boyd. And he'll be out of bounds right around the 20. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here comes Matthew Stafford now to lead his offense back out there. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 22. Now Stafford. Jones has it. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 15 yards for the Lions there on a first down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. From the gun, a run for Johnson. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, Stafford. He hits Jermaine Curse. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. Geno Atkins picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
No, now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. Operating from the gun, Stafford. Amendola's got it, complete. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Here is Matt Prater now. He's got the leg for this as he holds the NFL record with a 64-yarder back in 2013. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. That would have been from way downtown. Pretty big roll of the dice, and he comes up a bit short.
Yeah, you knew when you saw the holder setting up on the other side of the 50 that this was going to be a long shot. But to me, there's really no loss here because you've shown confidence in him. Kicking it from a long distance, that'll pay dividends. And the miss, you can shake that one off. It wasn't likely to make it in the first place.
Well, this offense got to be loving this. After the long missed field goal, they'll take over on the other side of the 50. 1st and 10. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. Gets it to his running back, Bernard. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Fans, a reminder, I have a note card here that says ad-lib halftime previews. So I guess let's do just that as we'll hand things over to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando when this one reaches halftime. Did I do okay?
You did great. Not a bad job.
Hey,
writing down your ad-libs.
If you print it, I'm going to read it. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to rep.
And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Here's Kevin Huber now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And the last go-around for them, they tried that really, really long field goal, couldn't connect.
And in retrospect, I think a lot of people would say, well, why would you try one that long? You hurt yourself in field position. The ball comes out, there. That only helps the other team. But I look at it as maybe it was a double shot of confidence. Confident the kicker could make it. And even if he missed, confident in their defense that they could hold him.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
Now a first down throw. Stafford. Open man is Galladay, complete. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Stafford barking out signals and trying to get his guys set quickly. Looking to throw again on second down. Stafford. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Blue 60. Here we go.
Throwing is Stafford. Evades him at the 20. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Here's Sam Martin now. He's been terrific so far. Here comes Erickson. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. 1st and 10 for Dalton. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Christian Jones came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. They don't want to repeat a first down. They'll keep it on the ground. And obviously not fooling anybody here as they stop him behind the line of scrimmage. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here. After first and second down went backwards, it's third and very long. And with time running down, they go down to a knee. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with fourth down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here's Kevin Huber now as they're forced to kick for the sixth time today. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has been a hard-hitting affair to this point, and you got to expect we'll see more of the same in the second half. And to bring the action your way, let's get it right back out to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Stafford and the Lions now have it first and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Now it's Stafford. Looking downfield for Jones. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's second down. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
On second down now, it's Johnson. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Stafford. It's caught. Jones. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 15 yards for the Lions there on a first down.
All right, let's just go ahead and walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed curl route by Charles Davis. So here's a first and 10 at the 38.
Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
This thrown quickly out to Jones. No gain there on the completion. Second and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
Set, lady. 52. 52's the mic. Hey, pick your game up. What happened?
Throwing on second down. Stafford is going to get this one out to his fullback. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks, but it doesn't matter what you call a position, it's who you put there, and there we saw completion.
Complete to Jones. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Stafford to Jones, enough for a Lion first down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
Stafford now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Johnson. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It was Nick Vigil there on the stop.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Here's Stafford. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Stafford. And that is incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point, and they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Dalton here from the gun. That's complete. Bernard. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. Airing one out for Boyd. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds So a big call there that brings up fourth.
What has not been the best game for him, but he definitely tried to get by with a little help from his friend there, trying to create a big play.
Couldn't do it, fell incomplete, but you're right, hasn't been a banner game here in the second half, just trying to get going.
Big thing is trying to keep confidence up and continue to fire.
Here's Kevin Huber now, as he's on to punt for Cincinnati.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. And Detroit getting set to go now. And they begin this drive in very precarious field position inside their own 5.
And remember, this is a defense that's already scored once in this game, so you've got to really take care and make sure that you're blocking these guys to try and wedge the ball out from the shadow of your own end zone.
Lady!
They'll try to get the offense going with Johnson. And they'll get him down up past the 15. 15 yards for the Lions there on a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Thanks to that last play, a little more room to operate. 1st and 10 at the 18. From the gun, here's Stafford. And this is incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Stafford nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Ryan Glasgow breaking through to get him to the ground. It's a loss of 7.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
Now, the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, shame on them, Coach Davis. They went against your advice. They threw the football, and now they're backed up to punt this away.
They're actually fortunate. They went against my advice, but they didn't turn it over, right? No takeaway for the defense. They'll punt it now. They probably could have gained a few yards if they ran it, though, and helped out with field position.
Here's Sam Martin now, as he's on to punt for Detroit. It's taken to the 26. So possession goes over here on the punt.
Let's go.
So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Kill.
They'll try to get the run game going. This is Mixon. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
back to Mixon on first down. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
On second down, Mixon. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or two short here with third down coming up.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. 3rd and 2 for Dalton. And able to find Green. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 35. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Hands up. Lead.
Hey, defense, let's go. Check 13. Check 13.
Dalton bootlegs out. He's going to have the hook up to Ross. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. That one good for 15, and the Bengals get a first down.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Dalton operating in the red zone now. His throw incomplete. John Ross, the one he was looking for, but it'll be second down.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
They'll get this out wide to Boyd. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Third down, a shot here for Dalton. And that's knocked away and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So now here comes the field goal team for the third time today. This just a 35-yard attempt from the left hash. And Bullock will put this one through, and that's going to make this a 16-0 ball game. So that one is his third of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, but 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Okay, can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. After the field goal now, it's Bullock to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. So here come the Lions now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 18. They begin the drive with Johnson, and they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Stafford gives to Johnson on the draw. He'll rumble for about 6 up across the 20 to the 22.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. The shotgun snap for Stafford. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 1st down Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Out of the gun, Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Geno Atkins getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Now Johnson. And not much of an opening there as he's only going to get this to about the 32.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. 4th down now after a loss of 2. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs. to keep up with your theme there playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now. 1st and 10 at the 20. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. He completes it to Boyd. And he coughed it up. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost.
Not at all, because we were talking about the NFL, and teams can score fast in this league. Quick strikes, you're right back in it. You're exactly right. Keeping hope alive.
180.
Mike 59. Hey, watch the slant. Watch the slant.
Following the fumble recovery, Stafford. James has got it, complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Decent start there to the drive. Big hill to climb, needing 2 touchdowns, also a 2-2-point conversion.
So, partner, how do you eat an elephant?
I don't eat an elephant. Who eats elephant?
Well, if you do it one bite at a time.
Okay.
That's the way they've got to play this, one play at a time. Yes, there's urgency, but they have to be careful as well.
Let's go with like a 50-ounce ribeye. One bite at a time.
All right, I'm with you.
It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
That's the way.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. And Amendola with a catch. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
No, check that. We want Mike 52 right here.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. That gets him 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal. What a game this defense continues to play, huh?
Yeah, they've been aggressive from the first snap, and they've controlled this ball game. But right now, if you're on the other side of the ball, you've got to match that aggressiveness. No points so far in this game. Moving the football, got to be that way to go against them and try and get some points on.
Galladay's got it, and the Lions have a touchdown. Kenny Galladay there to make the grab as they are able to cut into that lead. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
From the gun, Stafford. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. A very pivotal 2-point try that does not go their way. Now it's a big uphill battle for the rest of the 4th. Well, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is because, let's face it, in most cases,